We're looking forward to the meeting of Galway and Wexford in this year's hurling championship. Pete is a man who played in that Galway half-back line yourself. Just looking at the half-back line, Tony Oga's there at centre-back, as we know. David Collins back in the team again. What about young Donald Barry?
Yeah, young Donald Barry is one of the few players to make it through Galway that hasn't really two All-Ireland medals at minor and one at 121. He kind of came in under the radar. McIntyre put him on the panel. He's performed well. He gave him his opportunities in the leagues and he's taken it. And I've always questioned in Galway, like, if we don't have a minor pedigree or if you don't have an under-21 pedigree, we don't seem to be able to make a Galway senior panel. And, like, if you look at Martin Comfort, he didn't play minor under-21, but Kilkenny, Derek Ling, players like that, like, 15 make it. What about the other 45 that don't make it? And it's good to see Barry there, and it's good to see that McIntyre will pick players of that calibre.
I suppose, Pete, on the other side of that coin, then you have a fella like Ger Farrher. Now, before Joe Canning came on the scene, Ger Farrher was this new upcoming star, began to deliver, then faded away, and is now back again.
Yeah,
playing at midfield.
Ger was the new Eugene Cloonan, we'll put it.
Yes,
the guy who
exactly.
scored 110, 112 in a game. Then Ger Lucknane came along. They didn't see eye to eye at any stage. Suddenly he's back. Got very, very bad. He'd been out injured maybe for most of last year and the year before. Now he's back off the physio table. He's playing extremely good club hurling. He has the responsibility of taking the frees. And even when he was there, when Joe Canning wasn't there, he was away with the club. When he came back, everybody thought, well, that's it, Joe will be taking the frees again. But in fairness to McIntyre, he gave him the respect. You've done it so far. I'm going to leave you at it. And it takes the pressure off Joe as well. Like, if Joe takes a shot and goes wide for 65, now he doesn't have to run out and take the 65. He doesn't have to run out taking sidelines. Farrher can put them over from left and right as well. So it takes a certain amount of pressure off Joe, but it also puts a bit of responsibility on other players round about to perform as well.
Declan, if Wexford are going to win this match, how are they going to go about it?
Yeah, well, I think they'll have to have some sort of a game plan. I think 15 on 15, as we said, Galway are a better team throughout. I think that they played Waterford in a practice match a couple of weeks ago and introduced a few different things, but I don't think they actually worked out on the night. So I'd say they're going to revert back to dropping the lines. Now, I think obviously the two midfielders are going to have to drop back in around their half-back line, maybe position Darren Stamp in front of Joe Canning. Obviously he's the key man, and the half-forward line are going to have to drop back and support as well and break forward and pin their full forward line with balls. But it's going to take a really, really concerted effort. Obviously people sticking to the game plan. It's grand doing it for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, but it's when the pressure starts to come on that you tend to revert back to type. But again, you know, there are a lot of experience in that team, and you'll need the likes of Owen Quigley, Dermot Ling, Darren Stamp, you know, Keith Rosser to call the guys if they're not sticking to that game plan. But that's the only way. If you can crowd out, because you've seen they're prolific in the Galway forwards, if you can crowd out the Galway forwards, and hopefully your full forward line will do enough then in attack. But it's going to be tough, obviously.
From a Galway point of view, one thing they've introduced as well, Pete, this year is they look physically stronger than other Galway teams. We've often heard about Galway having nice, tidy kind of hurlers. They seem to be adding a bit of bulk to it.
Well, Donald was commenting there on young Aidan Hart at corner forward. He's 6'2".
Yes.
Traditionally, a Galway corner forward would be
2'6".
Well, a little bit more than that. We'll put him at 5'10" or 5'8", and he'd be tidy, lovely little skillful hurler. Hart is a big, strong, physical man, and we saw him in the league final. He was well able to ship it and well able to take it. And physically, if you look at the Galway team, Joe Canning is 6'2", and the photograph there beforehand, he didn't look a giant to young men, young boys, you know. And Galway had that physicality in the league final that I haven't seen before. But it'll take more than physical strength to win this game as well. And in fairness to Wexford, they have a lot of experience as a side, and they have been working with the youth as well. But Galway, if the truth is to be known, like, and they were talking about All-Ireland finals after the league final, you know, people were bantering that around, whether they wish a new person to come through the fold or whatever it is. Will have to be able to go down to Nolan Park today, take the pressure of being champions, be able to perform and come away with a victory.
Galway, by the way, will be playing from right to left, I gather. Wexford won the toss. They'll be playing left to right as we're watching it, so Galway will be playing with a slight breeze in that first half. Ira Tanyan had a very good league campaign. Now, he's out with a slight injury. Doesn't make the starting 15, so we may see him, though.
You may see him, and Ira Tanyan, he's probably the only hurler I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years to trouble Tommy Walsh. And he played on him the year Ger Lucknane was in charge, maybe 4 years ago, at wing forward, and even Tommy got so frustrated with him, Tommy got his name taken. Ironically, Galway took him off, and Tommy opened up, and Kilkenny won by 10 points. We didn't see much of Erla since then, because he tore his cruciate ligament last year.
A lot of injury
back after injury again now, and he has a bit of a dead leg. He was playing with the club last week, scored 5 points from play. He's a good, strong, physical hurler as well, and he's well able to mix it, and he'd be another one for the future as well.
Of course, Declan, the bench, we talked about this a little bit earlier on. You need your your subs, you need good subs. Have Wexford got stuff to bring in?
Well, I suppose that's unfortunately. Wexford have had a very good, few good minor teams in the recent past, and that'll take a while to filter through. There's a few of them on the bench there, like young Paul Morris and Owen Doyle and these guys. But you know, when you compare benches, maybe Tomas Mann might get a run as well. He's been around for a few years and things like that. But when you compare benches, I think there's no doubt that Galway have the stronger bench. They've had a lot of experience in that minor in 21 a few years ago. They've probably all earned medals, or a lot of them. So, you know, when you're looking at Galway, or Wexford will have to really rely on the first 15 to do the job today, I fear.
All right, lads, thanks very much for that. All set to go then at Nolan Park. Time for us to head over to the commentary box to hear again from Ger Canning and Donald O'Grady.
Well, Michael, there is a minute's silence here right now in memory of Adrian Freeman from Turin in County Mayo, who very sadly lost his life in an accident in Melbourne in Australia earlier today. Yeshlov de Garev on the morsel. Crowd still making its way into Nolan Park and standing now for Oronavian. Galway and Wexford have come to Nolan Park in Kilkenny to commence their Leinster Hurling Championship.